Salutations, kindred souls. Welcome to another episode of Lux Martin Enlightenment. I'm Lux, and on this channel we talk about how wisdom, healing, and integration are the tools to getting your most enlightened life. Today we're going to talk about a juicy and relevant topic that is very poignant in my life right now, which is why I love doing these, because I love backing up these episodes with personal experience and using the reflection to hone in on what's going on in my life as well. We're going to talk about how you are the mirror keeper, and that using reflections is a tool to build self-trust and navigate your life. Everyone and everything can show you parts of yourself, but only you get to decide what to learn, integrate, and trust. This is very relevant in my life right now, in the fact that I'm being called to hone in and develop this tool further, not only to use it more innately, but to distinguish what is and what isn't mine. But anyways, we'll go a little further into that later. We're going to start by building upon the belief system that I personally use, that everyone, everything around you has the potential, not necessarily always is, but has the potential to mirror back to you an aspect of yourself. Then we're going to use this belief system to build tools in our toolbox of building self-awareness, self-trust, and self-confidence. So we're going to use this belief system to build upon honing in a way that you can navigate your life that is truly, truly empowering and gives you a lot of momentum in, like I said, the way of self-trust and making your decisions in life. So I actually want to start with a note that I wrote down in my phone a while ago, and I've been simmering on it lately. But I want to read to you this download that came to me, and it was really powerful yet terrifying at first, and we'll talk about why. So I wrote, "We are all mirrors reflecting our true selves back to each other, good, bad, and ugly. That being said, you are still the person that knows you better than anyone, even if this version of you at this now moment isn't very awake or aware. As you begin to use people's mirroring as a tool to build more self-awareness, you will continue to develop a much more deeper intuitive relationship with yourself, so that you will always be the person that knows you best." Hold that thought right there. "Giving you the confidence to know what the right decisions and directions are for you now, and continuing on to integrate the pieces of your life that you want to work on." That was powerful for me. That was a huge revelation in the terrifying but powerful concept that I will always be the one who knows me best. And at first that was terrifying and lonely, but at the same time, I was being called to use it as an opportunity to turn inward on myself of how can I be there for me better than anyone can be there for me. Because truly that is what we all need in life. Firstly, is we need to have ourselves before we rely or depend on anyone else to be there for us. So that is truly the epitome of what I'm working on right now. But it became a really powerful concept of how do I use this building, this awareness and this intuition and this discernment as a way to deepen the relationship with myself, knowing that I will always be the one in here that knows me best. Thus, I will always be the one making the best decisions I can for myself at any given moment, whether that's to address this or let this go or choose this isn't for me. All of the options are available in my building of the tools of mirroring, self-awareness, self-trust, and self-confidence. And that's a really powerful and motivating thought, that because I'm the only one who really will ever know myself as well as I do in here, I will always be making the next best decision for me, even if I'm starting from a very unaware, sort of ignorant place, for lack of a more sensitive term. I am always on the way to where I'm supposed to be because I got me, and I'm the one making the best decisions I can for me. Yeah, so we're going to build on this. We're going to start with just a tiny little extra reflection about the mirroring concept, about how not only people, mostly people, but people, situations, environments, patterns we notice, they challenge us, so they make us feel some kind of way, or we start to recognize that something's going on when we notice this. When we become aware that we feel some kind of way about a person, place, thing, situation, we have the opportunity to see that it is often revealing to us where our inner peace still wobbles. We have an opportunity to see that mirrors can show you what's unhealed or something about you that needs a little more attention. However, I do want to mention here that it's not all doom and gloom. Mirroring also reflects back to you your light, reflects back to you the work you've done. They confirm growth, alignment, authenticity. The belief system that things are always working out for me goes hand in hand with that, as in when you're doing the integration work, when you're believing what you want to believe and feeling what you want to feel and doing the things you want to do, your outward world should reflect that. And if it's not, that's where you're being called to examine, well, what is inside me that needs more attention, or how am I kind of unknowingly stopping me from getting these things that I think I should have and see in my life. So it's an invitation, but it's a good invitation, and I don't want to in any way, shape, or form put a overwhelming doom and gloom aspect on the mirroring concept, because again, it's not all bad. It becomes a discernment tool, yeah? And at any given point in time, you get to decide what you do and don't want to work on. If your relationship with your mother and the way you can't seem to get along for long periods of time or whatever, something like that, doesn't mean that you're ready to do something about it right now. It means that you're slowly building your awareness and your self-trust and your discernment about what you're going to do about it when you're ready to do something about it. Yeah? So moving on. No matter how powerful the reflection of the mirror, you are still the only one that knows your inner landscape. That's a potent and slightly terrifying, lonely thought, that the inside of you, your soul, you are the one that will always know you best. So how do we turn that loneliness into power, into momentum, into sovereignty? We are going to build upon this. We want to firstly understand that the mirrors reflect to you, but your job is to observe it first, not react. So the first build upon of the mirroring concept is self-awareness. This is a great time to point out, if you've ever read the book Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. He makes this really important distinction of when a person is sitting on the couch and watching a movie, there's a call to understand that you are the one sitting on the couch watching the TV. You are not inside the show. And so there's a very deep distinction of awareness there, where people can often get so absorbed in the experience of what's going on in their reality that they forget that they are separate from it. And so awareness, self-awareness becomes a real thing in your world when you can start to separate yourself from the TV show and realizing that you're always the one sitting back on the couch, and you can turn it off, turn it on, turn it up, turn it down anytime you want, because you're not the TV show. Yeah. So anyways, the point in saying all that is to build upon the awareness concept. Observation is key. Just noticing that you're noticing is the first step. Noticing that you notice this pattern in your life, or the way this work environment makes you feel, or the way traffic makes you feel, or the way this relationship makes you feel. Noticing that you're noticing is the first tool, because you're building the mini moment opportunities to decide if it's for you or not, to decide if you're going to do something about it, if it's even yours. Firstly, that is something that I've been called to examine very recently. It's almost like I'm being sort of tested right now. Are you going to make that about you? Are you going to make that yours? Or are you going to anchor deeper into who Lux really is? So there does come a much more fine-tuned level of this discernment and awareness of understanding that, yes, although many, many, many things in the world reflect back to you, everyone in the world is also projecting and reflecting to each other. And so we all have different levels and strengths of projection and reflection. And that often just has to do with the way you develop, the way you grow up. And for no particular reason, I grew up as much more of a chameleon, much more of a reflector, because that's what I thought I needed to do. I was not a very outward projector. And so the only reason I mention this is to encourage you to bring into balance the fact and the understanding that we are all projecting and reflecting. Can you find the balance and the distinction of, this is me, this is my frame, this is how I carry myself, this is what I kindly and openly and lovingly project, because that's who I am authentically. Now I'm also noticing what I'm noticing around me. Is it mine or is it not? Is it mine or is it someone else's? Moving on to this self-awareness, as we build more self-awareness, and then we get the opportunity to choose differently in the moment of, are we just going to observe, Are we going to do something about it? And what is the best possible thing I could do about it right now or later? Whatever, you get to decide in that moment because you found the moment. That's the key first right there. You start to build some self-trust. This integration of the awareness in your everyday life helps you reflect and understand patterns, boundaries, and choices. When you start to make new choices because of your increased level of awareness, that starts to feel really good. That starts to feel really interesting. I personally noticed the changes in my life of making new decisions because I was more self-aware got me different results, and I liked a lot of those results. How do I do this more? How do I trust that this is going in a direction that's better for me? And quite honestly, the only way to figure that out is to keep doing it, to keep being aware and to keep observing and choosing, and then pivoting where needed. So building on into self-trust now, using what's being mirrored back to you as the layer of self-trust. We're going to give you an example here. When you identify a mirror in life of when you feel dismissed by someone, whether it's in a work environment or a group of friends or a family dynamic, you feel dismissed. Maybe you're being called to examine a deeper belief in yourself that your voice doesn't matter. When you found that awareness that that's actually what you think the deeper level that is going on in that situation there, and then you decide you want to give yourself some self-love and care and a reflection about this, and you want to do something about this, and so you start finding new ways in the world of encouraging and proving to yourself that your voice does matter. That is the building of the self-trust of I will take care of me because I noticed this, I want to do something about it, and I am doing something about it. I've got me, and I trust that I will take care of me in these decisions to make my life better and get me what I need. Yeah, and that's a really powerful, potent thing that some people seem to miss. Of that is the point of the development of the self-trust, is in those little daily acts of kindness to yourself, of showing your self-worthiness and sovereignty and taking care of little you. You're building trust in yourself. One tiny caveat I want to bring up in this portion right here before I forget it is, like for example, in the example of feeling dismissed by someone in your work environment, I would encourage you to keep in mind that it is wise to understand that in every situation, that in every mirror, there is a practicality level of that iceberg of what is actually going on in this dynamic relationship. Like maybe this dismissive person is actually being rude and I need to set a boundary, or I need to literally verbally speak up for myself. There's a practical solution there, but you're also being called to examine the deeper underside of the iceberg of what is this saying about me? What is this showing me needs more attention within me? So please understand, I'm not trying to make everything about a you problem. I am very aware that there's a distinction of when you make an observation of a mirror, there is definitely a practical level of problem solving and solution making that can make that everyday 3D real life situation better, but that it is an opportunity to observe deeper. Can you go deeper? And that I've noticed is extremely, extremely relevant in my relationships, not only with my friends, my family, my work environments, but my twin especially, is understanding that there is a practical layer and a deeper layer to most everything in our connection. And as much as we would like to stay up here in that, well, if we just fix this and make it smooth, then life should run smooth. If you don't ever decide to look at the deeper layer, the surface issues, the band-aids will not quite always be enough. So that was just an invitation to understand that there is a distinction. I'm not asking for you to focus on one more than the other, but the invitation to observe both practicality and deeper internal spirituality or self-awareness is there in every mirror. Moving on to using this integration practice to build the last tool here, the last step of the building block, which now we're up to self-confidence. So as you begin to use the discernment, the self-awareness, you start to see, I see this about myself. That is mine to heal. Or this isn't my energy. This isn't mine to hold. I lovingly give this back to the person it belongs to. I am making decisions for myself that takes care of myself because I know myself and I am there for myself in ways that maybe other people can't be, but that's okay because now I trust that I've got me. Building all of these things, this self-trust gives you the confidence and the momentum in knowing that you're continuing to make better and better decisions for you in integrating whatever parts of life you want to work on or releasing what isn't for you to work on. And then this self-concept becomes this really interesting, feel-good kind of like superpower factor of like, wow, I really do have me, and wow, I really am seeing the results of my new choices in life. And these choices in life are built from the foundation of I can observe what's going on and what's being reflected back to me. I'm choosing what I want to do about it, when I want to do it, and if I want to do anything about it. And now that I see things changing for me in my life, this feels really good. Like I really believe in my ability to navigate life and make decisions that are best for me because I am the one making the best decisions for me. That is the icing on the cake right there. That's the point of what we're trying to get to, is using the mirroring not as a place from being victimized or overwhelmed from everything that you could have, should have worked on, using it as an opportunity to build self-awareness and discernment, to build self-trust in the way you're navigating these observations, to build self-confidence in, look at me doing my life in a way that's best for me because I'm so observant. Yeah? So we're going to wrap this up with some really powerful closing reflections. In all honesty, whether you want to journal this or write it on your bathroom mirror or just try to find a way to integrate it in your everyday life, truly the way you start this process is by asking yourself very regularly, I'm talking almost hourly, on a regular everyday basis, of asking yourself, what is this showing me? I notice this thing, I'm aware that I feel some kind of way, or I'm observing that I'm noticing this thing. What is being reflected to me right now? What am I being asked to see? Is there a deeper level? Is there not? Is it mine? Is it not? Every reflection leads me closer to myself. Every reflection is an opportunity to have my back better, to make new decisions for me better, to have more confidence in the belief that everything is working out for me because I'm always on my way, because I'm making great decisions for me. Mirrors reflect how we meet ourselves, but the enlightenment comes when we stop blaming the person, place, or thing for the reflection we're seeing. Right there. That is the key takeaway right there. That is the power tool. I'm going to say it one more time for those of y'all in the back seats. Mirrors reflect. Mirrors are how we meet ourselves in others, people, places, things, situations. But the enlightenment comes when we stop blaming the mirror for the reflection we see and start taking control of what we want to do with it. When we shift from passive reflection to empowered ownership, mirrors are everywhere, but you are the one who decides how you use what you see. And that is truly an empowering tool that anyone and everyone can benefit from in life. So in closing, I hope that something I said today helps you decide to take, your life by the reins and decide to start with the level of self-awareness of just noticing that you're noticing, building upon that, making new decisions and believing that the new decisions you're making are best for you, and then being proud of yourself for that, being amazed at your ability to continue to swim and navigate life. And I will lastly finish with the encouragement that I believe that this process does become more and more fluent and more innate as you go. It may seem like a very conscious, tedious process at first to continually ask yourself 50 times a day in life, what am I being asked to observe right now? How is this about me? Is it even about me? What do I want to do about it? It may seem like it takes a lot of headspace at first, but I can tell you from personal experience that it is now just sort of a subconscious way of life. That's how I think and do and process my most everyday functions. And I will tell you that it feels really good that's kind of like always an internal program running on in the back of my mind that doesn't take a lot of headspace, but truly empowers me to navigate smoothly and confidently and with grace through my life, because I've built those tools. I built the levels upon the mirroring belief system to develop a sort of self-confidence that I really haven't had it in life until recently. So I hope that you use these tools today to build self-awareness, self-trust, and self-confidence that you've never had in your life before as you're on your way to your most enlightened self. Keep seeking, keep softening, keep showing up. Remember, the light you're looking for is the light you already are. Take care.